And if I've learned anything this year, it's that none of us, not a single one of us, not even me, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Hey! He will make your hometown not like you. The next time Drake sits courtside at a Raptors game, they're gonna Forrest Gump him. Sight's taken.
Seem to have a fixation with Halle Berry, but she's already
I do.
Regos and
Yeah. That was unfortunate, but
would you really have, like, let's say she wasn't?
Yeah.
Would you seriously consider
Like being with her?
Yeah.
100%.
Up and coming relationships, everything's gonna be very light. Not gonna get like heavily into things.
No, I get heavy on a couple drugs, but this is more about me and Serena, so I
gathered that.
But I wanted to make a song.
But you don't want it to be.
Well, it's funny because when I make songs about women, I also make songs for them. So I know what kind of song to make. If I'm gonna talk about them, I'll at least do them the justice of making them a song that they like.
Yeah.
Okay? So I know Serena very well, and I know that she'll hear it loud and clear, but she'll also not hate me for it because it's lighthearted. Mm-hmm. You know?
And she is seeing someone else.
I don't know, Mom.
Kendrick Lamar just turned Drake's world upside down again. But this time, he didn't do it alone. The Super Bowl stage became ground zero for a level of pettiness nobody saw coming. It was like watching a carefully executed drama unfold in real time, and when Serena Williams joined Kendrick mid-performance. It wasn't just a fun surprise, it was a masterstroke of revenge, years in the making. What seemed like a simple performance quickly transformed into a cultural moment, one that reverberated across social media for days. Fans didn't just react, they dissected every tiny detail, from Serena's outfit to the look in her eyes, realizing that this wasn't just entertainment. It was a calculated move aimed squarely at one person. The tension between Drake and Kendrick had already been headline news, with Kendrick's Not Like Us diss track making waves. But when Serena Williams stepped into the narrative, the stakes skyrocketed. She wasn't just a spectator at the show, she was a part of the message, a key player in an ongoing saga. And just like that, the music world became divided into camps, with fans eagerly speculating about what would happen next. Was this just a flash-in-the-pan moment, or was it the beginning of something far more significant? It all went down during the halftime show. While the world was buzzing with anticipation about Usher taking the spotlight, Kendrick Lamar had other plans. As soon as he hit the stage and began performing Not Like Us, the viral diss track aimed directly at Drake, the crowd erupted. But the real shock came when Serena Williams, the living legend herself, stepped onto the stage. Dressed in a sleek, black outfit that screamed power and confidence, Serena didn't utter a single word. Instead, she joined Kendrick on stage and performed the viral Not Like Us dance with him. The symbolism couldn't have been clearer. Serena was co-signing Kendrick's diss track, and she did it at the biggest stage in American sports, one watched by millions. It wasn't just a cameo, it was a public endorsement of Kendrick's message, a move that added a layer of complexity to the drama. And here's the kicker. Reports began to surface that Serena hadn't been paid for her appearance. This wasn't a business decision, not a move for fame or fortune, it was personal. Serena wasn't doing this for the spotlight. She was doing it for herself, for the message it sent. It was a statement, one that took the world by surprise. But that was just the surface. The real story unfolded in the hours that followed. As social media exploded with theories and analyses, fans began to pick apart every detail of Serena's performance, from the choice of her outfit to the subtle but powerful movements in her dance. Some pointed out that Serena's signature expression, the one she often wore when she was dominating on the court, was present during the performance. It was a look of sheer confidence, an expression that spoke volumes about her sense of control. Others speculated that this was a calculated move designed to humiliate Drake on a global stage, to remind him that while he might have had his moment, it was long gone. As clips of the performance spread like wildfire, the narrative took on a life of its own. This wasn't just a fun cameo or a spontaneous moment, it was a cultural mic drop. And as more insiders began to speak out, the story only grew more complicated. What had seemed like a simple show of support for Kendrick turned into something far more layered, far more deliberate. Meanwhile, Drake was in Melbourne, performing live when the news of Serena's Super Bowl cameo broke on social media. Mid-performance, he altered the lyrics to God's Plan, addressing the moment with a sharp, cutting twist. Beef is live. Spoiler alert, I never die. His tone was noticeably different. His expression tense and full of emotion. The crowd immediately picked up on the change, sensing that something had shifted. This wasn't the usual Drake we were used to seeing on stage. Within minutes, the internet went into overdrive. Clips of Drake looking visibly frustrated began circulating, and fans quickly zoomed in on the lyric change, analyzing it frame by frame. One tweet quickly went viral: Drake's officially unhinged. Serena broke him. The online conversation blew up, with forums divided between fans defending Drake's honor and others taking pleasure in his apparent discomfort. But the story didn't end there. As the clip gained traction, body language experts began weighing in. They pointed out how Drake's stiff posture and uncharacteristic silence spoke volumes about his emotional state. It wasn't just his lyrics that had changed, it was his entire demeanor. Commentators noted his refusal to address the incident directly on social media, a stark contrast to his usual playful and witty persona. Memes flooded every corner of the internet, turning Drake's discomfort into an easy target. The lyric change became a catchphrase, something fans would repeat endlessly, mocking him with every mention. So, why would Serena go this far? What was her true motivation behind her surprise cameo? To understand that, we need to take a step back and revisit the roots of this tangled web. Drake and Serena's story goes way back. In 2010, rumors of a fling between the two began to swirl. Drake was spotted courtside at Serena's matches, looking every bit the lovesick fanboy. By 2015, it seemed like the two were inseparable. Drake was constantly by her side at tournaments. Posting cryptic, sometimes flirtatious messages on social media about their relationship. It was clear that their connection was more than just a passing fling. They had history, and that history would soon come back to bite. But then, in 2017, she took everyone by surprise when she married Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian, a move that, by all accounts, seemed to catch Drake completely off guard. His reaction: in his track Middle of the Ocean, he famously slammed Ohanian, calling him a groupie in a moment that quickly went viral, as you'd expect. The move stirred up some serious controversy, but Serena wasn't about to let that slide. She fired back with full force on Twitter, proclaiming herself as her husband's biggest fan while reaffirming her commitment to her family. It was a powerful, unapologetic response, one that clearly showed she wasn't taking any of Drake's shots lying down. The tension simmered quietly in the background for years, eclipsed by Serena's legendary career retirement and Drake's constant domination of the charts. But while these public personas continued to rise and evolve, the animosity simmered, an undercurrent just waiting for the right moment to burst to the surface. That moment, as it turned out, came when Kendrick Lamar decided to throw a gasoline-soaked match into the fire, with a move so petty and bold it could only be described as one of the most public acts of shade hip-hop has seen in years. In an audacious attempt to regain control of the narrative surrounding his past views, Drake reportedly leaked over 100 gigabytes of unreleased footage, intimate interviews, personal confessions. Among the goldmine clips, a revealing statement where he admits that his hit single "The Good" was, in fact, about Serena. The intention behind this move to shift the focus back onto him, to reignite the spotlight on his past relationship with the tennis icon. But as we all know, things don't always go according to plan. The leak backfired in the most spectacular way imaginable. Kendrick's diss track "Not Like Us" took off, not just as a song, but as an anthem, a statement of defiance and cultural rebellion that spread like wildfire across every social media platform. The snippets Drake released were picked apart and analyzed, yes, but within days, they quickly lost any real relevance in comparison to the juggernaut that Kendrick's track had become. The internet wasn't talking about Drake's leaked footage anymore. They were talking about Kendrick, and they were talking about Serena. And let's not forget about Serena's unforgettable Super Bowl appearance. That moment was a game changer, one that entirely overshadowed the media circus surrounding Drake's desperate attempt to grab attention. Fans immediately noticed how Serena, poised and confident, was perfectly at ease in the spotlight, sending a clear message without saying a word. It was a masterstroke. Serena Williams wasn't just stealing the show, she was sending a clear signal to her past. To the man who had once insulted her husband, she was showing the world that she had moved on, and that whatever happened between them was long buried in the past. The viral dance move, The cherry on top of an already perfect performance, it wasn't just about the beat or the show. It was a calculated, almost symbolic gesture. Kendrick's disses, Serena's subtle yet sharp commentary, and that dance all merged into something far larger than the sum of its parts. It became a public declaration that Serena was, in every sense, beyond this drama, and she wasn't afraid to remind everyone that Drake had yet to get over it. So, what happens next? Drake has already hinted that he isn't done with this feud. There's more in store. More disses, more challenges, more attempts at shaking the narrative back into his favor. Kendrick, he's shown time and again that he's not afraid to escalate things further, and Serena, she's back to what she does best, living her best life, unfazed by all the noise around her. But here's the thing, history has taught us that Drake doesn't exactly handle public embarrassment well, and after the spectacle that was the Super Bowl stunt, it's clear he's got a lot more to prove if he wants to regain his swagger and his sense of control. The stakes are higher than ever, and this fight, it's far from over. Stay tuned, because if there's one thing we can count on, it's that the pettiness isn't over. Not by a long shot.